I challenged myself to beat Ocarina of Time with a Twilight Princess texture pack. The only problem is, I forgot to turn off Randomized Enemies. Our journey begins with us taking a nap, where we're having a very dodgy dream. Suddenly, a fairy named Navi appears and tells us that we need to visit the Great Deku Tree. Naturally, being British, we couldn't be asked and went back to sleep. After a bit of convincing, I eventually got up and left the house. Waiting outside for me was my friend Saria, who definitely looked a little strange. We quickly stopped to have a little chat with her, and she seemed very ecstatic that we had a fairy companion. She also reminded me to talk about this video's sponsor, the subscribe button.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
What are you doing, mate? I'm just waiting for mate.
After observing some strange activities from Colin, I chatted some more locals before proceeding to start my search for the legendary blade, the Kokiri sword. We came across a mysterious opening that when inside, we found a maze being patrolled by a moving boulder. Easily dodging it, we came across a treasure chest containing the Kokiri sword. And now with the sword in hand, all we needed now was a shield. But in order to buy one, we were going to need to earn some cash.
Money.
I started my search by touching grass, which seemed to be quite effective. But what was more effective was stealing rupees from my neighbours' houses. I next visited the Know-It-All brothers, who looked a little bit strange. Now that we have enough money, we finally decided to head to the shop to buy a shield. As we entered the shop, we encountered a literal baby with strange eyebrows at the counter. Without questioning things too much, we brought the shield and proceeded to the Great Deku Tree. However, on our way we were stopped by Tallow, who wasn't too happy about us entering, but it wasn't a problem as we were quite persuasive. As I went through, everything seemed normal at first. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, I got jumped by a flying skull, a Blade and a Pokemon. Barely escaping the chaos, we finally met with a Great Deku Tree who asked us if we had the courage to enter his mouth. At first, we were a little weirded out by this offer, but due to all the strange creatures roaming around, it seemed safer in there than out here. Finally entering the Deku Tree, we were given a very warm welcome by two not-so-friendly skeletons. When it comes to fight or flight, I always choose flight, and I decided that the best option would be to run as far away from the skeletons as physically possible. In doing so, we found a random chest on our pathway.
Oh no!
This time we couldn't run away and we had no choice but to fight. I defeated the lizard man quite easily and obtained the dungeon map. Proceeding to the next room, I encountered a disgusting giant looking spider. But don't worry, he went down no problem. For doing this, we were rewarded with a brand new item, the slingshot. Heading back to the center of the dungeon, we attempted to use the new slingshot to take down the flying lizard blocking our path. However, this was completely useless. This seemed to upset the lizard man. We panicked and climbed up the vines as quickly as possible. After being slightly traumatized, we headed into another room with a bunch of enemies and two treasure chests. The first chest we opened was a compass, and the second one was a waste of time. After that, we encountered more spiders, which, as usual, didn't take long to take care of. Falling from the top ledge, I broke a cobweb which revealed a new location. I landed in a room which was almost completely submerged in water. As soon as I climbed onto land, I was immediately attacked by a crow. Using a Deku stick I definitely didn't get off screen, I burned down a cobweb block in the next room. As I entered, I got jumped by a like and became its dinner. I obviously didn't taste too great as I got spat out instantly. In revenge, I jump attacked the like and was able to recover my shield. Moving on, I found myself in another room submerged in water. There was a moving platform with a spiky obstacle blocking our path. Luckily I was really good at backflips and was able to jump over it. On the other side, I was jumped by a bubble. Okay. In the next room, I was presented with a torch puzzle, along with a giant moving clam, and a bat that seems to have set itself on fire. Using the Deku stick, I lit up the torches, opening up the door to the next room. This room was filled with a lot of enemies, most predominantly a giant skeleton. Even though the skeleton seemed like the biggest threat, it was an invisible enemy that managed to knock me over. Burning down another cobweb, I find a tunnel leading to an area that was previously inaccessible. Waiting for me on the other side was a six-eyed freak who was made of ice and took lots of hits to take down. While pushing a block, I was once again attacked by crows, but using the slingshot, I made quick work of them. Heading back to the lower layer, I lit up my Deku stick and headed to the hole in the ground covered by cobwebs. Ending up landing in another pool of water, we were attacked by a fiery bat and two electric eel-looking things, the second of which got stuck in a wall, soft-locking me, forcing me to reset. It turns out it wasn't actually an eel, it was the Pokemon Kyogre. With all three enemies defeated, the final door opened. There was a deep mist and an intense aura surrounding the boss room, and it felt as if I was being watched. Turns out I was right, and had the unfortunate task of facing Queen Gohma. The most obvious place to attack seemed to be her eye. Climbing onto the roof, she tried to get the jump on me. However, I easily shot her down with a slingshot. After attacking her enough times, I finally defeated the boss, meaning I'd successfully saved the Great Deku Tree. With the day saved and our spirits high, we proudly left the Great Deku Tree. Meeting up with the Deku Tree, he thanked me for my courage and insisted on telling me the tales of the three goddesses. Naturally, I wasn't that interested, but decided to listen along regardless. He started by waffling on about some bloke named Ganondorf, who put a curse on the Deku Tree trying to retrieve some sort of stone. Apparently, he's planning to steal an item known as the Triforce created by the three goddesses, and it's up to me to stop him. Agreeing to help, the Great Deku Tree gifts me with the spiritual stone and tasks me with heading towards Hyrule Castle to meet up with the Princess of Destiny. Unfortunately for the Deku Tree, the curse that was placed on him by Ganondorf had sapped away all his power, and he is close to passing on. Saying our final goodbyes, we turned away from the Deku Tree, not looking back, as we had no time to worry since another adventure awaits.